Welcome back to Books with Beck. I'm Beck. Let's talk books. Here's the thing. I hate paying for books, especially if I have not read them yet. So I'm a big Libby person. I am a big downloading person. And I'm a big thrifting person. The issue with Libby is that you won't get any of the books that you want for weeks on end. And then suddenly, a random Tuesday, you'll be sitting down eating your lunch and 12 notifications come in that all of your books are ready. So this week we're gonna see if I can get through all of my Libby holds in 1 week. Everything came available at the same time. So I'm panic reading and I have to get everything done. There are 5 books available in my Libby, and they all came available at once. So to start with, we have The Guest List by Foley. I've never read from this author before, but I've heard good things. This is a thriller, and based on the cover, I'm thinking it's wedding. I have not read the description. I just saw the Lucy Foley book and put it on hold. It came available. I have not read the description, but it says the guest list, you wish you were on it. I'm thinking it's a wedding. So we're gonna see about that. I think I'm gonna read this one first because the other thriller on the list is far more exciting for me and I don't wanna be comparing them. So I think I'm gonna read this one first since it's a new author. And the other thriller that came available is The Boyfriend by Freida McFadden. And I love Freida McFadden. So I have very, very high hopes for this one. I'm not reading the description because I like Freida McFadden books better when I don't know what's happening, because sometimes her books are a little predictable, which I enjoy. But if you read the description, sometimes because I know her writing fairly well, I'm like, oh, it's gonna be this. And then I'm right. So I don't even wanna tell myself. I don't even wanna know. However, high hopes. So if she lets me down, it will be a problem. Also that came available is Bride by Ali Hazelwood. This book has a lot of hype around it, so I'm not getting my expectations too high just because usually I don't like a book if everyone loves it. So we're gonna see. I had this one downloaded onto my Kindle a while back and I just couldn't get into it. So maybe with the audiobook, it'll be a little bit better. We'll see. So The Bride by Ali Hazelwood. After that, we finally got People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry, which I'm super excited about. I honestly love Emily Henry so much, and the audiobooks from her, I think I've only listened to one, but I've listened to snippets of the other ones, and they're all produced very well, so I'm excited to have it on audiobook. The last book that is available is, oh my gosh, what was it? Oh! Normal People by Sally Rooney. This book, my husband bought me a copy of, so I have the paperback that I can read along with it. It's a really short book, but I just keep putting it off because I have other things on my TBR. So now's the time. I've got the audiobook, I've got the paperback, I can go full reading mode on it. These are the 5 books that I have for this week. Do I think I'm gonna get through all 5? Absolutely not. Am I going to try? Absolutely yes. So we will see how many I can get through in 1 week. Okay, right now I am at the 85% mark in The Guest List by Lucy Foley. I am headed to Silent Book Club right now. So that's where we're silent reading for an hour and then we talk for an hour. While I'm there, I'm hoping to finish this up on the drive and then when I sit down. But I also have The Boyfriend by Freida McFadden downloaded so that way I can read that while I'm there. So those are the 2 books that we're trying to read at Silent Book Club today. And that will get us done with our first book of the Libby downloads. All right, I'm finally home from Silent Book Club. Instead of it being 2 hours, I was there for 4 hours talking with my friend. So I did get to the 35% mark in The Boyfriend, and I also did finish The Guest List. Let me tell you my thoughts on The Guest List first, okay? I really enjoyed all of the twists, and I loved all of the motives that were present for all of the people at the wedding. What I did not love was the ending because it just felt abrupt and it felt like it was rushed. I could have appreciated like 10 more chapters and I just didn't get that. So that was frustrating to me. I really, really, really feel like this had the potential to be amazing and then it just ended. So I rated it 4 stars on Goodreads. I'm saying it's more of like a 3.5 for me. I did really enjoy it, but I think if she would have just added on like 5 more chapters, it would have been amazing, because it was like all this suspense of who did it and all of these people have motives. And then it was like, as soon as you found out who the murder victim was, then you immediately found out who the murderer was. Like there was no in between time, in which I think that there could have been a lot more suspense within that time. Overall, it was still a good book. I wouldn't read it again. I might recommend it to somebody if they've never read a thriller before. It was an easy read. It's very typical, like motives, you know, the scarred ex-lover, the betrayed best friend. Like there's a lot of those like really common whodunit themes present. So it was, overall it was okay. It was mediocre at best. This is my first Lucy Foley book, and I know that she I know that she has, that was so unnecessary. I know that she has some other books. Oh my gosh. Anyways, I know that she has some other books and some other thrillers that have been on my list, but this book kind of turned me off of them. So if you like Lucy Foley, let me know in the comments like which book you recommend. That way I can, you know, not lose hope in her. It was good. It was fine. It was just not, you know, it was kind of a waste of my time, I guess, personally. But with that, I am on to my Freida McFadden book. I've been waiting a long time for this book, and whenever I found out she was publishing, I put a notification out on Libby, so I was like the first person to get it. It came available about a week ago, so I only have a week left, so I kind of have to hurry. But I already got to the 35% mark. I always read Freida's books in about a day and a half, 2 days, so I'm not worried about it. Right now, in The Boyfriend, it switches perspectives from a boy named Tom to our main character, Sydney, and it's going back and forth. Tom has these really weird inner thoughts and is giving serial killer, but it's him as a child. That's what this perspective is him as a child, like teenager. And I think he's gonna kill his girlfriend. I can't tell right now. But then Sydney, her best friend, gets killed and like chopped up, and like it's really gruesome. So I'm wondering if Tom is the guy. So I don't know. I can't say too much without spoiling it, but Freida always has a twist. So even if I spoil a little bit for you, you're still not gonna know what's really happening. I, of course, right now suspect Tom for the killer for Sydney's best friend, Bonnie. I could be very wrong. Like I said, she loves to throw in a twist and give it like the most unexpected person. I can't get over the fact that he just did that. I'm at the 55% mark in The Boyfriend right now. I have so many theories as to what is going to happen, but I know Miss Freida, and I know I'm probably wrong, so I'm irritated. But I honestly think I'll finish this book tonight. It has been such a quick and easy read, and it's fun because it's switching back and forth, which Freida likes to do a lot of timeline switches, so it's to be expected, but this one, I just really enjoy it. It almost seems too obvious, so I know there has to be a crazy twist coming in, and I don't know what it's gonna be. I have a major theory, but one of my high school friends, she posted that she just finished this book, and she also loves Freida, so that gives me hope. I told her my theory and she didn't say anything, which good for her, because if she would have spoiled it, I would have been grouchy. But I didn't even get like a little like, oh, like no inkling that I was correct. So I think I'm completely off base. But you know, we'll see tonight. I can't tell you too much without spoiling it. However, there is a previous timeline where we're getting the perspective of someone who I think is probably a serial killer based on the internal monologue that they have. I'm like, oh, you're crazy. And then we're going back to the present day, and it is someone who their best friend was murdered. And so I'm like, yeah, okay. And then this person that I think is a serial killer shows up in present day. You see where I'm going with this? So it's too obvious. I know there has to be a twist, but my husband's calling me, so I'm gonna go and I'm gonna go read. I'll let you know if I finish it tonight. Okay, super late last night, I finished The Boyfriend by Freida McFadden. I loved this ending so much. The plot twist was completely unexpected for me. Don't mind Primrose, she's just hanging out. It was so good. Like, an amazing plot twist. I absolutely did not suspect it. As usual with Freida, I thought I had it right and I did not. However, with that, I'm writing this 4 stars. I was extremely annoyed by the main character because to me, she was just stupid. Like, there was some things that I was like, okay, like, obviously don't do that. Like, she was the person in a horror movie that's like, ooh, what's that noise? Let me chase after it. Which, you know, you kind of have to have in a thriller. You have to have that so you can have some suspense. But I was like, oh no, this girl is stupid. Like, if my friend was murdered, then you can bet I'm not dating a stranger that I just met on the street. Especially if the murderer is still out and about. Like, it just didn't make sense to me. However, plot twist was 10 out of 10. I loved it. So for me, 4 stars. It was really great, and I'm excited to have a new Freida book. But yeah, it just kind of missed the mark for the main character for me. I digress. I did start reading Bride by Ali Hazelwood. That is the 3rd book on our Libby checklist for the week. I think right now I'm at like the 15-20% mark, and honestly, it's good. It is a vampire who is basically entering a marriage pact with a werewolf. So vampires, werewolves, and humans all live together in this world, but the vampires are at odds with everyone right now, and the werewolf and the humans are forming an alliance. So now the vampires need to get in on it, otherwise they're going to be wiped out. This vampire has to marry a werewolf, and she wasn't going to. Her dad is essentially the leader of the vampires, and he said, hey, you're gonna have to marry this guy. She was like, I'm not doing it. And then he said his name, the werewolf's name, and she was like, oh, done, I'm in. So we find out a little bit later why that name sold it to her, because she'd never met him before. So it's like, why is she willing to marry this stranger? So it's getting interesting right now. I'm hoping that I can get through it quickly because it is Tuesday, and that means I have 1 more day, and I still have 2 other Libby books. So I don't think I'm gonna get through all of them, but that's okay. I can always just check them out again and wait for them for a very long time. It's fine. Everything's fine. We hit a random Goodwill after dinner, and I got really lucky. I got a couple.
Sorry.
That was not necessary. I got a copy of Daisy Jones and the Six, which we have both read, and I got a copy of People We Meet on Vacation, which I've been talking about forever. So I'm really excited about that. I also got 1 book for my classroom, and my total for all 3 books was $4.95. So a win is a win. A win is a win. Okay, I had a long drive home, and I was able to finish Bride. Hate to be the bearer of bad news. I don't think I liked it at all. So I rated it 3 stars. And now that I've been thinking about it a little bit longer, I kind of think I'm rating it 2.5. I did not enjoy this book. Here's why. This is the most TikTok book talk book I've ever read. Okay, there's been a lot of great books to come from Book Talk. Like, give it credit where credit is due. However, this book had such amazing potential. The concept is such a great concept that I was like, oh, this is going to be so good, and I just missed the mark for me. It really felt like the author just grabbed buzzwords from different trending books that are out right now and threw them together in a book. Now, if you love this book, maybe I'm being a little judgmental, hate to break it to you, I just didn't feel like it was not all that it was hyped up to be. Honestly, I think if this book would have had less hype, I would have rated it a little bit higher. But the fact that everyone's talking about this book, that this book is in your face in every store, I really expected it to be good, and it was not that great. So it was just a little bit of a letdown for me. The concept of a vampire and a werewolf being into a forced relationship could have been amazing. really, it could have been amazing, but it didn't. I don't know. I think somewhere halfway through, it just kind of like fell flat and it wasn't working. Some of it was so very obvious that you're like, okay, are you gonna try and make me figure anything out? So sorry, my bad, but not for. Now that we have finished Bride, we have completed 3 out of the 5 books on the Libby list. Not as much as I wanted to get done. I wanted to finish everything, but you know, girls got a job, so we did what we could. I hate that I ended with Bride because it just kind of missed the mark for me, but that's okay. I've got some other good reads coming up this week. If you do not have the Libby app, this is your wake-up call to go get the Libby app right now. It is amazing. I cannot express to you how many books I've read through Libby because I can't afford to buy audiobooks as fast as I read them. It's too expensive. And Libby, if you have a library card, you just download the app, put in your library card information, and you can check out books, audiobooks, magazines. You can send PDF books to your Kindle. So it's really, really a great resource and, you know, helps everybody read a book.
Book Husband here. Like and subscribe. Love you. Bye.